Bring the hands to the hip bones. Take a few pelvic tilts forward and back. And as the pelvis tilts, the spine responds, and you might feel how the upper spine, the space between the shoulders, gently moves on the mat, and just feel that response. Keeping your awareness not just in the shoulders, but how the sensation of the shoulders is connected to the core and the pelvis. And then let the movements get smaller and smaller. And notice the quiet strength that builds as you move slower and you feel the nuance of these smaller movements. And then find what feels like neutral today. See if you can create a little extra space through the back of the neck by tucking the chin. And then interlace the hands behind the head so that the chest opens. And that's going to encourage the spine to arch. So you're going to have to use your core strength to resist that arching. Use your next exhale to hover one shin parallel to the earth. And then inhale, set it down, and exhale to lift the other one. And move like this, and notice how the lifting of the leg demands a little extra work on the core. And if this feels really easy and you want a little bit more work, try lifting both legs, keeping them up, and then just exhaling to lower one at a time. Either way is very good for the core, so do the one that feels the most beneficial to you. And the next time the right leg is up and the left leg is down, grab, other one, left knee. Bring the left knee into the chest and slowly curl the body up to meet the thigh. And then release the head back down, and try curling up on your next inhale. And then exhaling to release. And do a few of these and see how spacious you can be on that inhale as you lift. And then switch the breath so you're lifting on the exhale, and try to avoid that mindset of lifting as high as possible, and instead try to feel a sense of ease. Try to feel how the upper and lower body are working together. And the next time the head comes down, grab behind the thigh and ever so gently kick the leg into the hands, and notice any sensations in that hip socket as you do that. You can make some little circles, just imagining waking up all the micro muscles in the hip. You don't want to feel any strain. Let it be almost like a massage as that leg gently circles. If it feels good, you can also extend that top leg. Try both and then do whatever the body enjoys the most. The next time the foot is kicking slightly away from you, very slowly release the leg, let it float down, reach the arms overhead, and take a moment stretching the body long. I like to kick the heel down into the mat a little bit to activate my glutes. That just feels really good for my hips, so feel free to try that. And then gently push into the right foot and roll onto the left side. Rest the head on the bottom bicep, bend the knees any amount. Right hand comes in front, and just gently massage the left side of the body. And this is my favorite way to prepare the shoulders. And it's also my favorite way to balance the shoulders if I've overworked them. So I just want to invite you at any point in class, if you feel like your shoulders need a little break, come to this position and let them find some softness and some balance. And start to pay particular attention to the sensation as you roll back and massage the back of the shoulders and then roll forward, and there's that experience between the chest and the armpit that changes a little bit. And then relax at stillness for a moment, and then adjust the angle of the knees so the feet are lined up with the hips, and the knees are pointing down, sloping almost at like a 45-degree angle. Bring your hands to your hips. The hips aren't going to move here. We're going to do a PT movement called clamshells that is to isolate gluteus medius. And so my favorite way to do this is to actually push the bottom leg down. And as you push the bottom leg down into the earth, notice how the top leg effortlessly floats. And then inhale to release that. And do this a few times. If you feel the muscles under your fingertips, so like the hip flexors or the TFL, which is about where your thumb is, it means you're probably lifting the knee too high. We want it to be this deeper glute muscle that's on the back of the hip. You can even place your hand there to feel that little brightening. If it feels grippy or really strong, that's probably gluteus maximus. My favorite part about this movement is when I push my bottom leg down, I can feel how the muscles in the back of the hips are working together in both legs to perform this action. And this is sort of similar to what the legs are doing in crow pose. So we want to find this position with as much deep core strength as possible. The next time the leg lowers, relax there and just notice any sensations in the hips. And then reach the bottom arm towards me, stack the hands, and imagine you're a book. Open the cover of the book and very slowly roll over the spine of the book and close to the other side. And take a few of these, moving as slowly as possible so you have a moment of like hang time through the middle. And you want to feel how the limbs are connected to your core, and instead of feeling like 4 different limbs, it's just like one body floating through space. Nice job, everybody. You got it. And then let's meet on the back. Float the feet down, float the arms down. My hips are craving some extension, so you can extend the legs all the way, or you can go in that position we started in where the feet were wide and the knees knocked in. And we'll just take a moment to rest and connect with the breath, connect to that sensation of the rib cage interacting with the shoulders. And then we'll do the second side. So walk the feet in. And bring the right knee into the chest this time. And we'll start inhaling to float up and exhaling to float down. And you might notice that inhaling to come up, you don't go quite as high and there's not that same feeling of exertion. Try to feel the lift coming from the low body and not the neck, even if that means you don't come up very high. Make sure you can breathe. And the next time the head floats down, clasp behind the thigh and start to just gently press the thigh into the hands and pull the thigh with the hands so there's that extra activation. And make some little circles. Option to extend the leg if the body's craving that. And just imagine as the thigh bone rolls around in the hip socket that you're waking up support from every different angle. You can reverse the direction of your circles and see if that changes anything. And try to keep the pelvis unmoving. That's actually going to wake up deeper core muscles. It's okay if it means the leg hardly moves. And then slowly let the right heel reach forward. Try to be soft through the front of the right hip. lift the hands overhead, and now you'll be rolling away from me. So gently kick into the left foot, roll onto the right side, bend the knees any amount that feels comfortable, left hand in front of you, and just gently massage the right side of the body. Imagine the body is becoming less solid. You're becoming more of a liquid or a gel. There's no tension. Try to breathe into the front, back, and sides of the rib cage. And then give your shoulder a little extra massage by merely bringing your awareness there and seeing what happens as you melt forward and back. And then we'll do those clamshells again. So if you need to turn to see me, you can, but line the heels up with the hip bones. Bring the hands to the hips. Knees slope away from you at about 45 degrees. Keep the pelvis unmoving. And then gently press the bottom leg down into the earth to float the knee, keeping the feet together. Less is more. Take a few of these, and you can always bring your hand to the back of the hip to try to feel that subtleness of gluteus medius engaging. Reminder, that's the one underneath gluteus maximus. So it might feel like there's still a softness. If you've done our level 1 yoga training, this is what we say. You want your bum like a plum, not like a prune. It's exactly this sort of sensation. And then the next time the hip comes down, just relax and notice the sensations. Maybe this side was easier or harder than the other. Reach the bottom arm forward, stack the hands, getting ready to open the book and take those slow motion rolls from side to side. And then just for fun, as you roll through center, pause there, bring the feet together. And this is sort of like a really easy version of crow pose, where the feet are together but the knees are still wide. Take a moment to curl up here and squeeze the legs into the arms and push the arms into the legs, and then release and go back into those open books. And notice if what you just did through center felt like a little strainy, and doing this movement feels like a relief, which is totally fine if that's the case. See if you can roll through center and take that same action without creating any strain. So be okay with not lifting as high, right? Or not holding as long. Then we're just going to take a few more breaths to explore, and you can just stay with the open books, or you can take a couple of those reverse crow poses. Just getting the muscle memory imprinted in the body. And try reaching the hands inside of the legs, because that's actually how they're going to be. The knees are wide and the hands are planted on the ceiling. And then let's all meet at center. Grab behind the legs and start to rock and roll forward and back. As you roll up, see if you can find that crow position again. And I'm going to go 3/4 just so you can see. So feet are together, knees are wide, and then the hands go inside of the knees. And then bring the soles of the feet together and let the knees slowly relax out without dropping them out to the sides.